Pleasure is present when people are looking for more natural and responsible food, but indulgence, comfort food, remains a strong dimension. The need for conviviality, emotions, and sensations also play an important role. Pleasure is definitely an important trend in the world of food, and since the pandemic and the successive lockdown, it has taken on special significance. 4 in 10 consumers indulged with comfort food during the pandemic. It's more than 40% in the US and Italy, and up to 60, even 70% in Asia, who said they indulged more during and post-pandemic with gourmet and comfort food, perhaps a little too fat, too sweet, or too salty. And France and Germany are actually the most reasonable. There's also a revival of homemade cooking. With the closure of restaurants and canteens during the successive confinements, more than half of consumers say they cook more than in the past. And this development of homemade food is actually at the crossroads of several expectations. First, the search for natural products, the control of the ingredients, but also the pleasure of cooking and sharing, and finally also the control of the budget. And with the inflation on the rise, the budgetary dimension will continue and thus reinforce this homemade trend. Moreover, with the development of remote working, optimization is going to become more and more important for quick and easily manageable cooking.
Innovation related to the pleasure of eating is still the most prevalent axis of innovation in the world, and it's true as well in every country. Panel studies also show that these are still the best-selling products. The COVID pandemic has highlighted this phenomenon with products that could be described as comfort food. They provide reassurance and make you feel better when daily life gets tough. Pleasure through food involves multisensory experiences, so first of all with tastes, which are stronger and more intense, particularly due to ingredients such as truffle, ginger or saffron, but also with natural processes such as infusion, fermentation or maturation. We can see a mix of textures as well, with crunchy, crispy and melting within the same product. Pleasure is also an imaginary experience through food with exotic products and the development of recipes from Korea, Central Africa, and a double promise of powerful taste and naturality. The offer with pleasure promises can be sophisticated and premium, and it's still developing in that area with the communication around local know-how.
So since the reopening of the restaurants after the COVID crisis, people started to go back because among the key motivations were the motivations of socializing, just being with each other, being with their families outside. So full-service restaurants as well as quick-service restaurants, they developed a lot of offers really working of this pleasure side of eating out, meaning that now they have more cocktail offers, aperitif offers, different desserts and other meals to share. So all this is very important for pleasure, but it's also another point that is important. It's the point about the budget. So now with growing prices and growing inflation, especially families, they look very, very closely at what they spend in food service. And as a result, we asked our consumers, European consumers, what are your strategies to spend smart in food service today? And so 1/3 of consumers told us, I will just reduce a little bit the frequency of my visits. But the good news is 55% told us, I will continue to go to the restaurants. I will just change my strategy in terms of maybe buying a little bit less items or seeking for promotions or eventually going to some cheaper segments. So in the end, if we speak about the price, it's an important element, but it's not the only element that consumer takes into account when he or she decides to go out, because if the consumer sees the value of the offer, about the atmosphere of the place, about the quality of product, they are ready to pay a little bit more for the value perceived.